Hey, what's up, everyone? Anthony here, PG2 Podcast. Probably going to be some spoilers here from my review on Zack Snyder's Justice League. Um, what an amazing movie. And if you enjoy this, please subscribe and like the video if you liked it or didn't like it. I'm just a guy that likes and enjoys movies. I did go to film school for a little bit. Life caught on. I own a couple businesses, have kids, have like 8 dogs and stuff. So one of my passions though has always been movies, and I used to make movies as a kid. I asked for a camcorder like 10 years old after watching Kevin Smith's Clerks. I'm from New Jersey. I saw that and I was a kid, maybe I was 12 years old, and we made our own movies from that point on for the next like 10 years. And I wish I would have got more on this YouTube thing, but life caught on, like I said. But anyway, um, Zack Snyder's Justice League is fantastic. I did stay up to 3 o'clock. I was up at 3 o'clock here on the East Coast, 3 o'clock in the morning, and watched it with my brother and my kids. Some people were like, "Oh, well, it's rated R." Man, this I don't know why they would, and this is just my opinions on this stuff, man. Why they would rate it at R? Yes, there's a couple of curse words in it, maybe five, two F bombs, two S, bombs, and one B bomb, I believe. Don't quote me on it. And you know, there there's violence, there's no sex, there's no drugs, there's violence, and like five curse words. And I brought this up on Twitter a little bit too, and on my Facebook page. You know, I'm somebody that doesn't like to shelter for my kids from everything in the world. In this day and age, you really can't. So you can just put on the public news. We've seen people, in the beginning of the year and throughout last year, just violence like you wouldn't believe. Any more violence than like real violence than like in a movie. And this was on the news. It was just like live footage. And we had presidents and politicians cursing on the news. Just you could put on C-SPAN or anything. They're just cursing. At one point I put on the news and it was just there was curse words on the news, like on the title. So we're living in an age where it's like you can't like it would be wrong. Don't look at that. It's never gonna happen in your life. I'm more somebody that's like, hey, listen, you heard that from somebody at school or you've seen that. Don't say that word, and here's the reason why. And I think kids will take to that better. I bring that up because some people are like, oh, I don't know if the kids could watch it. I think kids could watch it. If you're gonna let them watch, like for instance, the Avengers or other Marvel movies, the same curse words, except for like one of them, are in those movies, and the violence is on the same page, but it's just done better in this Zack Snyder's Justice League. Um, you know, Look at Endgame. I think it's rated PG-13. They cut Thanos' head off within like the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie. Like just cut it off with an axe. They cut his hand off. So I mean, there's a bunch of different things that went down in those movies, and no one really picks them apart really. So I'm very much a realist. Like, oh yeah, they see this. Of course, I'm not let my kids watch, and I'm a huge fan. Like I have Quentin Tarantino things on here. They're not watching Quentin Tarantino movies, so not yet. um, but if you want to let the kids watch it and you're not like super against like a curse word or two, then I don't see anything really wrong with it. They didn't. It was on par with like anything Marvel, but just done better in my opinion. And I'm a massive Marvel fan as well. Um, I'm just a comic book fan altogether. As far as the pacing of the movie, fantastic. We were like 2 hours in, and we didn't know we were 2 hours in. We were like, this is just mind blowing. The only thing I can say that I could nitpick on things, and I find people nitpick DC movies more than they do Marvel, for instance. I just don't understand it. Like Loki has killed probably millions of people, millions. Did the attack on New York City? Think no one died in that in the Avengers? And Nothing. They accept him. There's nothing wrong. He's, you know, still alive, doing great. Just killed people. You know, pretty much destroyed his own planet. You know, locked his dad away, possibly killed his own father. I mean, there's just so many things, and nobody just like, let's move on. But it's written well, and I enjoy the movies as well. Um, but to say that, you know, everyone's always nitpicking DC stuff, and I've seen people on Twitter recently rewatching Man of Steel and BVS, and you know, I seen that as well, and I'm just like, you know, a lot of nitpicking. I mean, there's so many things in the other movies that are comic book. I never see them pick things apart like that, you know. But that's here or there. I mean, it's just I, as I was watching the movie, I was just intrigued nonstop because if you did see the Josstice League movie, which is Joss Whedon's Justice League from 2017, I was just finding myself like, oh, they just butchered the movie. You'll find yourself watching scenes and you can clearly see where Zack Snyder filmed something. Josh Whedon then filmed another shot when it looked away and it came back. It was Zack Snyder's. It looked away. It was Josh Whedon's again. You can clearly see it in that Frankenstein of a movie that WB decided to go with, which everyone who made that decision should be fired immediately. Think about about $1 billion they probably lost. If I'm a shareholder, they probably lost $1 billion from future movies because they decided to go with that campy bullcrap, right? And that it's set. Look at this movie. This movie should have been out 4 years ago, and now we're seeing it. Think about all the spin-offs we could have had by now, but no, WB put that out, and you find yourself watching the Zack Snyder Justice League if you've seen that movie. If you did not see that movie, do not buy it, do not watch it, because it is a comedy dumpster fire that's not worth watching, right? In my opinion, that's not canon. And if WB wants to go that direction on keeping that canon, I probably it'll be hard, but I will not buy and go to the movies to see any future WB movies. They did that to Burton. They did that to Nolan. Nolan just said he's not going to work with WB anymore. And now they're doing it to Snyder. And the most famous comics that pretty much DC, that stand out are these dark comics. That's the ones people talk about. They love them. I love them. And to sit there and say like, oh, we want the campy Batman or Wonder Woman. No, nobody wants that. My kids watched WW84. We hated the thing. My wife hated it. We want to see powerful warrior Wonder Woman like we see in this movie. Unbelievable. For the first like 2 hours, my jaw was dropped in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I was just on the edge of my seat, like, couldn't believe it. I'm still exhausted and tired from it. I'm drinking coffee. But I was just, whoa, like, this is like one of the most amazing movies ever. And somebody at WB watched it or looked at it and said, nah, we want to go, let's go with brunch with Flash. Like, this is stupid stuff. And that brings me to a point, too, before I get into more spoiler things. Like, there was comedy elements in the Josstice League in 2017 that I was not pleased with. And those comedy elements are in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I kind of thought those elements would be in this Justice League and Zack Snyder's. But when you see the scope and the content and the character building, those comedy elements stand out in a positive way. In Justice League, which is only a 2-hour film where they crammed in what mother boxes are, what each character, there was new characters brought in. They took out the whole character arcs. Like, they didn't even do history lessons on the characters, really. And they crammed it all in with bad CGI. It's horrendous. Where this gives it the time and day. Zack Snyder's Justice League gives it the time and day that this movie deserved. And these characters. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. I'm trying to just, my brain is still racing. I went to sleep right around 8 o'clock in the morning after staying up all night. And, I was sitting there, I'm like, sitting there dreaming, like, man, this movie was stuck in my head with this thing. I just couldn't believe it. So it starts off, um, you know, just one of the major things without getting into things like the Wonder Woman scene with the bank robbery. Fantastic. She's like protecting the kids. There's heartful moments with the kids. The violence in the scene, they should have kept in it. Corny. Josstice League, corny bullcrap. Nobody wants it. Nobody. I sat there and watched that with my kids. They're like, this is stupid. I'm like, yeah, this is just horrible. Zack Snyder's Justice League, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So the Wonder Woman element is awesome. And again, I'm not going to do full spoilers here. It's just going to be like different little aspects of things that went on. The Flash. You're telling me that WB sat there and said, you know what? The Irish West thing, take that out of the movie. Do not put a background on who Flash is or anything, and just throw him into the movie and make him scared of tall people. He literally says this in Justice League, and have him tripping everywhere. So in Zack Snyder's Justice League, you do see him trip, but you get the character build up beforehand, and you get to understand who he is, which we did not get that in Justice League. So I was okay with those elements in Zack Snyder's Justice League, you know, and the comedy aspect of the Flash. I don't know, but do I think Zack put all of that into his movie without being forced? Probably not. I mean, in BVS, it looked like he made it clear, like, this is not like the corny, laughable comedy elements of these movies that was in the comics before, and we've seen in other variations of movies when they killed off what's his name, the news reporter, right in the beginning of the movie. You know, I'm still tired. So I was like, when I seen this elements, I'm like, all right. So he did bring in a lighter aspect and tone to the movie, but it's still dark enough where you're like, yeah, this movie is awesome. So the Flash, just amazing. I'm hoping that the what's his name that plays his father in the movie comes back and does, you know, is the Flash's father in future movies. The Iris West relationship, amazing. The musical choices in this movie are unique. Some people may have had some issue with it. I loved it. Compared to the music that we had in Justice League, didn't fit. Here, I felt like it had more emotion to it. Then Aquaman. Jesus, man. Right off the bat, you can tell when Bruce Wayne goes and meets Aquaman in the village, and he's trying to find who Aquaman is in front of the people. Just amazing. They cut out a whole like musical thing where the village people think that the villagers think that he's some kind of god because he's bringing them fish. I mean, amazing character build up stuff. The water and snow scene and everything look a lot better than what we've seen in Justice League when he goes and takes. I mean, it's just better filming. All right, better dialogue, stuff that should have happened. I always liked the scene in Justice League where, you know, Batman's like, you know, do you know Superman? He died, you know, working with me, and Aquaman's like, well, it's like, yeah, of course he did. Like I thought that was a Zack Snyder scene, and it was. You can literally watch that Justice League 2017 and see where you think it's Zack Snyder and Zack Snyder's Josh Whedon's 2017 Justice League. About 5%, I would say, is Zack Snyder's film, the good parts. The rest, 95%, was Joss Whedon. That's why that movie sucked. He didn't understand the characters. And this is all Zack Snyder and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Just fantastic. I was watching the movie, and I couldn't. We were like two and a half hours in, and I didn't even think about Superman. That's how fast paced this movie was, and just just awesome. Like building up, moving along, fantastic. And we turned to my brother, I'm like, dude, we didn't even see Superman yet. And he's like, oh yeah, you know. So when Superman shows up, that fight scene in Heroes Park, unbelievable, terrifying, edge of your seat, jaw dropping compared to what we got. In that Josstice League 2017, Flash is running by, and you seen Superman like look to his side eye, following the Flash. I always thought that was a Zack Snyder shot, and it was. It's a great scene. Every time you see something that's pretty cool, you're like, I think that's Zack, and it was. Um, and that fight scene was amazing. Superman. And I'll get into this why I think some of the things I had some issues with the movie, but the movie is perfect in my opinion. But as a fan, you always want something more. Nothing could be everything you want be a little bit better. People weren't happy with the original trilogy of Star Wars and stuff in the beginning. You always wanted more. So same thing. I'll get on that about Superman. Cyborg. Wow, a WB in my opinion. I don't care what Ray Fisher did to stick up for himself. I stand with that. WB took that guy's hard work. You could see the work they were doing behind the scenes and destroyed it. Destroyed the character Cyborg during Josstice League 2017. Just destroyed it. This version of Cyborg that was meant to be in the original movie of Zack Snyder's Justice League, fantastic. I mean, unbelievable. Ray Fisher is a fantastic actor, and I seen when the scenes where it's like with his father and everything, man, it was just like crushing. And it was fantastic. He is the heart of this movie, like Zach always said. Then you have Wonder Woman, like I was saying before with the bank scene, just fantastic on the way that they brought her back as a warrior with a shield, a sword, and her lasso, whereas WW84 just said, we want to make it campy and not have her do anything. So that movie, I mean, Wind beat her at one point. I don't really think WW84 should be canon. I think that they should continue the way that these characters are meant to be and seen here. She is compassionate. She's a warrior. I mean, the fighting scenes are just fantastic. Steppenwolf, you can't ask for a better villain. The way that he looked, it's terrifying, and you respect it at the same time. Whereas, you had the Steppenwolf from Justice League 2017, horrendous CGI, looked like something out of Nintendo 64 graphics, just horrendous compared to what other movies were putting out. This movie, Zack Snyder's Justice League, just fantastic with Steppenwolf. The villains were fantastic. And then they actually cut out, in his spoilers, the Atom. The full characters that should have been in it: Martian Manhunter, Deathstroke, Joker. It's supposed to be in William Dafoe. They're supposed to be in the original movie 4 years ago. They're in it now, the way that was supposed to be. They removed them, WB, like a bunch of morons. That's why I said when they cost the company, the shareholders, $1 billion, I'm not lying. I might be low on that figure with all the other branch off of movies that they could have made during this time that could have been successful. Now, here is, first hour, edge of seat, jaw dropping. Second hour, edge of seat, jaw dropping. Third hour, same thing. And fourth hour going in, same exact thing. My opinion on what could have been better. And the movie's already fantastic. I would have liked to see more Superman, actually. Like, I was actually, in my mind going in, and I seen the black suit, I was looking at some kind of rejuvenating thing, almost like what Kevin Smith had in line for Superman Lives. Like, I thought that the machine in the spacecraft was going to come and attach to him maybe and rejuvenate Superman with the black suit on, bring him out to space maybe, have the sun like make him stronger. Now he's going to go kick Steppenwolf's ass. But we didn't really get that, and I'm happy with the way it was rolled out. Again, this is just coming from a fan's standpoint. I mean, everything can always be better. I could pick apart all the Marvel movies as well. Like, hey, I wish they would have done that. But, and then what else? The Superman. I wish we would have had more Deathstroke, Lex Luthor, because Lex Luthor went prison at this time. He was in Arkham. What if, now he's coming out because everyone didn't like Lex from BVS, but now being in jail was very hard, or at Arkham, and now he's more mature, and he's like, I think that's where they were going with it. And having more Deathstroke, Arkham, and the Legion of Doom would have been really cool. And I think that's where you're setting up Justice League 2 and 3, and I believe HBO Max or WB should get their crap together and do those movies. I'm sorry I'm all over because I'm so exhausted here. But the other things I wish that would have happened was everyone's talking about that nightmare scene. Everybody's like, you on the social media, everyone wanted to see that nightmare scene. And it was at the spoilers at the end, in the epilogue. And it's fantastic. And I don't know where this movie's going. Because after, and this is my opinion, throwing around some theories, I don't know when they killed off Steppenwolf, right? And Darkseid, and I'll talk about Darkseid in a minute too. Darkseid was in the boom tube and Steppenwolf's head landed. And then the movie ends on a great note until Martian Manhunter comes and sees him. But Batman, Bruce Wayne's sleeping, and he has that nightmare dream. Now, was he dreaming this whole thing? And in his dream, Aquaman and Wonder Woman is really going to die. Like he's seeing the future of when Darkseid comes. Or was the whole thing a dream? I don't know. It would be really cool if that was a twist at the end. I don't know. But Bruce has that dream, and Ben Affleck, man, like Batman, fantastic. One of the best performances, man. Ben Affleck is Batman. And when Martian Manhunter comes and sees him, towards the end of the movie and tells him that he has stake in the game now, this is his planet. I wish I would have got more Martian Manhunter too, though. I wish in my thing it would have been like really cool to see him fighting, but that's what they're setting it up for, and I get that, because I'm only wishing these things because we don't know at this point if Zack Snyder Justice League 2 is coming out. I don't know. If I had that answer, I'd be like, don't even listen to anything I'm saying here. Like these things are going to happen. But I'm hoping for these things to happen so that we can see what I'm talking about here. The only thing I thought in the movie too, because I don't know if we're going to see that, is more Darkseid. I saw it during the trailers, it's being pushed, and Ray Porter just destroys it as being Darkseid, man. He's awesome, the voice. But I wish I would have got more Darkseid action. And, they're setting that up for the second one, and I get that. So what you've seen in BVS, before I end this, because I think I'm running out of time here, is you had that nightmare scene in BVS. Towards the end of this movie, Zack Snyder Justice League, when he's having that nightmare, Bruce Wayne, he sees the Joker, Mira's there, Cyborg, Flash, Deathstroke, no Aquaman, no Wonder Woman. They were killed off. Superman lands down. His eyes are red about the heat vision, everybody. In my opinion, that's the point where Superman kills all of them, minus maybe the Flash. And Batman's the only one left living. And then we see that nightmare scene continue in BVS because the Joker gives Batman a Joker card there. And then in the nightmare scene in BVS, he has that Joker card on his gun. And he's trying to get kryptonite so that he can fight back Superman. Because at this point, Darkseid has Superman on his side because Lois Lane was killed in that nightmare scene too. Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Just unbelievable stuff that would be awesome to see on big screen too. It's a good story. So that scene in BVS, I believe that nightmare scene continues after what we just seen in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And that's where you see Batman with the Joker card on his gun. Joker was killed off, Deathstroke, Mira, Cyborg, and I think the only one left would be the Flash and Batman. And Flash is probably going back in time trying to solve all of this. And that's where you seen in BVS, Lois Lane was always was always her. You were right about him. Just my opinion. All right, everyone, take care. I'm running out of time here. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe and like. I'll try to put out more videos as I can. Take care.